Hello clarinet fan, my name is Kathy Williams and I'm an amateur clarinetist from Brisbane, Australia. If you are a subscriber of mine, you will find that I have several videos out there giving my tips on aspects of clarinet technique, and this is my views and tips on how to improve the tone of your throat tones, because let's admit it, throat tones don't sound very good at the best of times. Now, you can improve your throat tones, and the first thing your teacher may suggest is to play them as long tones and listen, and just find the best sound you can just by listening to it and changing aspects of maybe opening the throat a bit more or focusing the sound behind the front teeth. That can all work. So for example, yeah, that can work if you're prepared to put in the time. Also, various mouthpieces also influence your throat tones. Personally, I play on a Selma C95 130. It's a very open mouthpiece, and I find it gives me throat tones that aren't quite so sharp, and a really lovely shallow lower register. And it also gives me a bit more grunt from my back, so I can play a little louder and not lose the centre of my tone. Now, what I want to introduce you to, and I was first introduced to this in the first year of my Bachelor of Music by a wonderful clarinetist and teacher called Floyd Williams, who teaches at the Queensland Conservatorium of Music, and he's a wonderful teacher and player, and I have learnt from him for many years. And he introduced me to the concept of covered fingerings. And once I was introduced to these covered fingerings, I've really never looked back. Now, one of the things your teacher may have taught you when you were first going over the break is to keep the fingers of your right hand down so that it's not quite so hard to go from the A to the B. So, etc. But this can be modified to actually make your throat tones sound better, and this is where covered fingerings come in, and it's some physical, device of the overtones of a clarinet or whatever that makes your covered fingerings sound better. Now, this is my covered fingering for the A, and just listen to the difference. Can't you tell the difference? I think you'll like the second one better. And this is using a covered fingering. Now, what I'm actually doing is playing the A, and then I put my middle finger and fourth finger down. Make sure you're not putting the first finger over the first hole. And then on my right hand, the third and fourth finger, and then the low F or C key. And this gives you an absolutely lovely A, and also it's more likely to be in tune. And also you can control it a little better further by embouchure, centering the tone behind the back of the teeth, and also fiddling with the back, opening up the throat, because I'm sure your teachers have told you, open up your throat. So let's listen to this again. So you can really tell the difference. Now, B flat is similar. I mean, it's only a really subtle difference. but I feel it gives you a far nicer B flat, and also makes it easier going from the B flat to the C. Now what I'm doing here is I'm putting my fourth finger down on the left hand, fourth finger down on the right hand, and the C F key, and I find that gives me a really nice B flat. So okay, but you may need to experiment on your clarinet. Maybe the covered fingering for the A also works to B flat, but on my particular clarinet, this is what works. Now, the G sharp and the G also you might want to experiment. I find if I put 1, 2, 3 on the right hand and perhaps even the E flat key, gives me a much better sounding G and G sharp. So not a lot of difference there, but you may notice that the covered fingering G is just that slightest bit less sharp. And the same for the A flat. Again, not a lot of difference, but there's a slight difference in tuning. So there you go. They're my tips for a better tone on your throat tones, and it doesn't involve hours of long tones, although they do help. So there you go. So G, I put 1, 2, 3 an E flat key, same with the G sharp A flat. Now for an A, 3, 4, 3, 4 and the C F key. B flat, 4, 4 and pinky C F. So I hope this has been of some help to you guys. But experiment on your own clarinet. This is a Buffet RC Prestige, top of the range, so naturally my throat tones are going to sound better anyway. But have a fiddle on your clarinet, you know, working with your mouthpiece and your particular setup, and see what you can come up with. So that's my view on improving your throat tones. I hope that through experimentation it works for you too, because this solves a major problem in a very difficult register of the clarinet. So best of luck everybody, and goodbye.